Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. Thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Sorry, everybody. It wasn't me. Facebook dropped down. We had camera issue. I don't even know if that's going to be fixed now, but just bought this camera. It really sucks if this is going out. I don't think it is. I think there's just a setting in there that needs to be adjusted. We're back, and then Facebook dropped. So Olivia came in. I couldn't hear Olivia at all because I got the sound running in my ear, and then it looks like... Yep, that looks like it's working. So got the sound in my ear buzzing, and I can't hear anything she's saying. And then she starts yelling at me, and I can't hear it. So just whatever. Then we lost Facebook, and I said, screw it. We're going to pull the plug and reset it. So here we are. I'm sorry that the other part was deleted. I will try to repost it tomorrow. It'll definitely be on the podcast. I'll put both of them together, but it was a pain in the ass. We just got rid of them, and we're back. So it looks like Rumble's coming back alive. Instagram's back alive. Looks like we're getting some numbers back on the rest. Now, I need you guys to tell me if you can hear this video.
He's never exercised and he only consumes Diet Coke. He shouldn't.
Okay, can you guys hear that video? Please let me know. Because people were saying they couldn't hear it, and I think it was Facebook's issue, not ours. Yes. Okay, good. Here we go.
Be this hard to miss.
Oh,
really at this point,
we're talking about how the left used verbiage, and this is all over TikTok. It's people saying, "Oh, I can't wait for this, the day it happens." And what they're talking about is the day that President Trump dies. This is what they want. They want it more than anything else in the world. Here is just an example of a few of these idiots saying this. Oh, one more thing, folks. With donations, losing all those people, we lost all of our momentum on donations. So we're looking to hopefully get it back. We're at $25 tonight. We're already at 8 o'clock, so that's not good. So if you could help out, we'd greatly appreciate it. If you haven't had a chance to donate, you go to thedumbshow.com/donate. You can also pick up some coffee. We also need to re-like the show because all of those likes are now gone. So it just sucks. Just imagine we're starting completely from scratch. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it. Here's the rest.
He's never exercised and he only consumes Diet Coke. He shouldn't be this hard to miss.
really at this point, I'm just waiting for that death certificate. Send us that death certificate so we can prove that that man is going to be 10 feet under the ground and burning in hell before we all celebrate.
Real shooters don't miss. So for any real shooters out there, just a couple words of affirmations, because you never miss.
So I look forward to turning on the news every morning to see if he's still here with us. How many of you do the same thing every day?
My point was he has to die eventually, right? Yeah. Please?
And how the fuck y'all keep shooting everything but this bitch?
I don't, can you imagine how difficult it would be to be God? You know, maybe it was a lot easier when it's like, you know, he looks at people and goes, well, you sold your children into slavery. You fornicated with 47 women. You robbed people for their money, for their gold, their riches. You had vanity. You were vain. You would kill anyone else who was better looking than you in the kingdom. You starved the peasants and the people and the meek. Now, all right, let's go ahead and help 17,376,472 now serving. All right, let's start off with Facebook when you were 7. And you've got 473,000 posts. All right, let's get busy. I mean, can you imagine the account that will need to take place? And it's really hard for me to believe that these people's souls are like this. Listen, I have anger in my heart. And honestly, I've tried to explain to you that if something bad happens to politicians, I really don't care. I'm at that point where I just don't care anymore. And there's a few politicians I would care, but I don't care. But I'm not celebrating it. I'm not wishing for it. I just think at some point that discourse no longer works. And throughout history, at some point, violence does. I hate to say it. I wish that it wasn't true, but it is. Now people are, oh my God, let's red flag law. Oh, screw you. I'm not calling for it. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But it doesn't matter wherever you're at in history. Every major empire was taken out by their own overreaching, impossible expectations for world dominance and went broke and then were conquered by their people in a coup or in an overthrow or in a resistance. And the same thing happened. The other is true when you try to starve your people or relegate your people to poverty, try to tax them into oblivion, whether you're tyrannical, violence gets you out of it. What do we want? Okay, how do we free Iran? Somebody tell me how we free Iran. How can we free Iran without putting in 1 million troops? And even then, we free Iran like they're saying. There needs to be open revolt. So we need violence. How do we, as a country, ensure that Iran stops launching weapon systems at Arab nations? And Joanne Townsend donated $50. Thank you, Joanne. Love you so much. Appreciate you. How do we get the regime to stop killing its civilians? How do we get the regime from stop using proxies and extending their arm of chaos and evil? How do we stop them from getting a nuke? Well, violence. There is such thing as economic violence too. Starving people is violent. And that's what we're doing. We're starving them now. We put a blockade on. Chicken is like 300% higher. Energy costs, food, everything. Inflation is up like 63%. 63%. Do you know how long it's going to take for Iran to recover from that? That's almost as bad as Joe Biden. In fact, it's 6 times worse than Joe Biden, folks. Imagine where Iran, and listen, it's violent. Whether you're dropping bombs or you're dropping their economy, it's violent. But this is how you solve problems. And you can sit here and say, oh, no, we don't do this. We discourse. We have a conversation. Bad speech requires more speech. We just told you. Jim Crowder just told you. I told you. These people aren't going to be infected by your antidote. They are innocuous to your charms, which are facts and logic. They don't respond to this shit. You know what they respond to? A boot in the mouth. And I'm sorry. there is going to come a point where this will turn violent. And I'm telling you, it's not just me saying it. There are multiple people, unlike Tim Pool, that's been saying it every freaking night for 10 years. Civil war, civil war. I'm not saying that. What I believe is going to happen is it's going to be suburbs versus the inner cities. It's going to be the rural areas versus the inner cities. That's what's going to happen, because they are going to drive such amazing wedges in between us that eventually it's going to be based upon race or socioeconomic status. That's what's coming down. It's us versus them. What do you think they're programming? Anon donated $25. Thank you, Anon. Appreciate you. So when you hear that, now you know. Because here's Bongino's take. It's not just Crowder. It's not just Bongino. I've been telling you for a long time. Here, listen to Bongino.
But listen, I will never be the same, and I'm being as serious as a stroke right now. Look, I'm scared, man. Like I know what I did. And I'm proud of my work, and I'm proud of what me and Cash accomplished in the past year, beyond proud. I know what we did. I know what's coming. I know what I started. I know what I laid out, and I know it's all, you saw a lot of these cases coming out over the past few days even. But don't think for a second that I don't think every day, and this is what's really sad, and this is why I know, and I never thought this after reading that enough Friday night, that they're going to come for me. And listen, man, it's not a sob story. I knew what I was getting into. But it happened to the president, and he went through just the worst, just destruction of his civil liberties I've ever seen. But I say to my wife all the time, I know, Sean, I can look you in the face as a friend, tell you and your millions of viewers and listeners, I promise you everything I did with a dotted I and a crossed T. I brought in my own attorney from the outside, person I trusted, a wonderful, wonderful person. I said, no, everything is going to be by the book. Everything. I'm confident in that. And you know what? It don't matter. They'll rewrite the book, just like they did for President Trump.
Yep.
And I said to my wife, I said, I got a 14-year-old. The presidency could change. I hope it doesn't in a little over 2 years. You don't think on election night, if we lose, like it's not going through my head, like they're going to send some thugs to my house? I was never the same after that, because after reading what I read about how many people did this to President Trump, this Russia hoax, collusion, crossfire hurricane bullshit, and not a single person stopped them, I'm terrified that they're just not going to do the right thing when they're in charge.
You want to know why he quit? There it is. It's terrifying. Have any of you ever had the IRS come after you? I haven't. I do my taxes. I pay them diligently. In fact, I just got off the phone with my accountant before we got on the show. But I've had the law come after me. And I have never had any. I had 6 parking tickets or speeding tickets in my life. That was the worst thing I've ever done. Never had any trouble with the law. Never even had the cops called on me for anything. You guys can look at my history. There's nothing there. I was a Boy Scout. My concealed carry came back in 27 hours. My security clearance, my SSBI came back. And I'll tell you, whatever we did with the camera worked, by the way. Looks good. Sorry. But when they put me in handcuffs and they accused me of hurting my kids, if you think that I didn't want to quit, you're insane, because I knew what this was about. I knew what it was about. I knew exactly what was happening. And I knew it was multiple fronts coming after me. From LCPS to the current Commonwealth attorneys, all of it. And when I heard the prosecutor tell my attorney, oh yeah, we know who he is. We watched his show. We know what he talks about. We know what he's like. And my attorney's like, what does that have to do with who he is? And so their mental conduit to justification was he's a Trump supporter, so therefore he's bad. It's insane. And that is just one sliver of what Dan Bongino is facing. But he will have the full weight of the Department of Justice. He'll have all the alphabet agencies against him. He's going to have those agents that were in place go after him. I mean, this is insanity. After Charlie Kirk, all of us were nervous. And it's not just Charlie Kirk. You guys, they tried to kill Nick Fuentes, which I completely disagree with. I think Nick Fuentes is a dipshit, but I don't want him dead. There's no reason for him to be dead. He's just going to be relegated into obscurity. But Dan Bongino's scared. Crowder's scared. And I had a viewer tell me at one point, I don't know, a few months back, who no longer watches the show because I banned him because they're just a douche plow, but said, "Oh, Matt, you're nothing but a scared guy." Yeah. You know what? I've seen the world. I've seen what's out there, and I've seen what's coming to this country, and I've seen it happen to other countries. And you're damn right I'm scared. I'm scared for this country. I'm scared for my family. I'm scared for the people in it. Yes, I am. You think because I carry a gun that makes me scared? No, it makes me smart. It makes me safe. Because I'm never going to be in a situation where I'm like, holy shit, I wish I had a gun. It's the same reason that I don't go anywhere without my money. It's the same reason I don't go anywhere without a go bag in the trunk. No way. Being fearful, it doesn't mean ill-prepared. Bobby Richardson donated $31.40. Love y'all. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you very much. Roxy says, well, that's weird. I live in Pennsylvania, and when Biden was president, I paid over $5 a gallon. Of course. Of course. I don't think Michael is... have never seen gas and diesel this high ever. Oh, yeah, that's hard to believe. I remember fuel at 4, but not 5. Yeah, listen, there's no doubt fuel's going to keep going up because the global market is not, you guys understand, fuel is a globally traded commodity. It's not just the United States. Everyone's like, well, how come our oil is so expensive? Because these oil companies can sell it on the global market and say, screw the United States. We'll make a bigger profit. That's why it's globally traded. So you can't control the price of oil from a geolocation. If so, then we never would have left the Middle East. If we could have controlled the price of oil and kept it low, and we just would have taken Iran, taken the Straits of Hormuz, and taken the entire Middle East. That's not what's happening. It's a globally traded commodity. And you look at Ukraine and Russia is a massive exporter of energy. And then now you go ahead and take China is consuming at a rapid clip, but their reserves are low. Iran's not pumping anything from Kyrgyz Island. And this is impacting the global economy. So we're going to pay it. And it's going to be in the shorts. It's going to suck. Olivia told me today, she's like, oh my God, I paid $4.50 for a gallon of gas. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a lot. We can only hope that this slows down. We can only hope that they open up the straits. And, hope in one hand and shit in the other, and let me know what fills up first. But this is the ebb and flow of what's going on, and it sucks. Gas up to $5 here under Biden, and highest it has been is $3.89. Yeah. It's expensive. There's no doubt. I'm empathetic. That's right. I think it's, if we can get Iran where we want them and get them to stop building the nuke, and we can secure the area and have them stop running proxies, so we stop these never-ending wars, then it's worth it. But that shit's only going to last for so long before people say, okay, you know what? Maybe it's time to put Democrats in to impeach Trump so we can get this war over, because that's what people are going to be thinking. If they're paying this amount of money in late August, they're not going to be happy because people are going to worry about winter. If you think it's expensive now, wait till the winter. Crude with the British Empire has established, I don't know what that means. LF Cox, Brent crude with the British Empire helps establish had prices. I can't. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means. Help me understand. I'm not simple. I don't understand what you're saying. Low IQ candidates. Donald Trump talked about it. Well, here's an example. Folks, donation lines are open. We lost the first half of the show. We're now in second half. Here it is.
You also said you're running to abolish ICE. Mm-hmm. This is something that we've heard other Democrats and activists talk about.
Yeah.
From an immigration enforcement perspective,
yes.
Who do you think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws?
good question. And you can pause because I just want to think about it for
Well,
a minute. Go ahead.
We need to continue, though.
Okay. Who do I think should be in charge of enforcing immigration laws? Not the executive branch, so not the president. So it belongs with Congress. It belongs with Congress.
Folks, this is what we're dealing with. And these people, there is a massive group of Americans that emulate these people. Where do you think we get it from? We watch the political infighting. We watch it on our morning news, and by the afternoon, we're having the same arguments with other people. This is what we live in. This is no good. These people are stupid. These are Marjorie Taylor Greene. These are Ocasio-Cortez. This is Rashid Tlaib. This is Lauren Boebert. These people are stupid. They don't deserve to be in a position of representing us because they are the low IQ individuals that are just average. I don't want any of these people representing me. There's hardly any people in Congress that I truly believe are smart enough to represent my best interest. There's a handful. And I've told you who those people are, and you know who those people are. But you're kidding me. Brenda, enjoy your time being a pool attendant. That sounds fun. And go out there and be the MILF and walk around in a bathing suit, and all the boys are going to go pitter-patter. Good for you. Oh, and then you put God answers prayer. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin it. I apologize. Yes, God answers prayer, and wear a one piece there. But this over $6 a gallon in Ventura. Oof, that's horrible. Now, Mel asked a question about OPEC and does it help leaving? Yeah, it helps because it stops the cartel of OPEC from controlling supply and limiting supply. So they can no longer limit production to keep prices in a false state of elevation. So more supply means downward pressure on price. So that's a good thing. But the problem with that is that the Straits of the Hormuz are what's closed. So we're not going to see an immediate drop in prices. Long term, likely downward. It'll help it fall faster. Immediate impact, just more of the same. But yeah, leave OPEC for sure. And multiple countries should leave OPEC because then that stops the cartel of OPEC from controlling the flow of oil, and stops penalizing for releasing more oil than they want them to. They want to keep the prices inflationary right where they want to. They want that $105 to $115 a barrel. That's what they want. And what's better for the world is somewhere between $72 and $85 a barrel. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a good point, Mel. We got some good things tonight. I want to stay on. I don't want to be too late. I want to go play my game with Olivia. But here's Trump on the South and the redistricting that the Supreme Court came back with. A really good understanding. I'm going to show you both these videos. Here's one.
You haven't seen it.
When did it come out? Just now?
No, it came out this morning, but basically very much narrows the Voting Rights Act.
Was it considered a win for who?
A win for Republicans.
I love it.
But my question...
This is a very good... We can end this news conference right now. I want to read it.
My question for you, Mr. President, is that some Republican governors have not responded in terms of what they're going to do. I guess early voting, for example, in Louisiana.
Republican governors? What?
Republican governors.
What about it?
Early voting begins Saturday there, for instance. Should they redraw the map in the next couple of
I would. I mean, it depends. I mean, some states don't need to redraw, and some do. I mean, I know what the concept of the rule. I just haven't seen the result. Yeah, I would say generally, I would think that they would want to do it. Some are greatly helped, and some, didn't make much difference. Yeah, I would say they would do that. They have time to do it. Yeah, please.
So this is massive. This is this is like 20 different seats possible. The entire South, the Democrats have gerrymandered and redistricted to their heart's content, and this is why they did Texas. And Texas will be considered constitutional because they base it off political parties. They're doing it off of color of skin. So this is a huge, huge win. 20 seats is massive. I mean, that essentially could keep the House in Republican control. And if that happens, holy shit. Now, will they get off their schneids and redistrict and remove these Democrat blue strongholds? They should, because they're illegal. And they should either suspend the vote for a period of time or get this stuff passed right now. Yeah, and guys, by the way, OPEC, yes, just dismantle OPEC, and then we stop this bullshit. Then Iran doesn't have a choice. If they don't want to give oil to the rest of the world, that's fine. We will. And we'll make a shit ton of money. Anonymous donated $15. Good show, Matt. It was better. The first hour was great. Unfortunately, I had to delete it. I'm going to have to find a way to repost it. Folks, we have 25 minutes left. That puts us at 1:46. We're halfway there. We got 35 minutes left. I'm going to put up the countdown timer now because I don't think we're going to hit it unless I get this thing up here. So I'm going to put it on for 35 minutes on the nosy, and would love to get this thing out of here so we can focus on the show. That's what I want to do. I loved it last night. I know we can't do it every night, but Frank, great friend of the show, came in, donated $300, and just got the donations done so we could stop talking about it. Here's the second video. Here's Trump on Comey. I thought this was really interesting. Listen to this.
This time over a social media post with seashells that said 8647. Do you really think that he was endangering your life or threatening your life with that?
Well, if anybody knows anything about crime, they know 86. You know what 86? It's a mob term for kill him. You know, you ever see the movies? 86 him. The mobster says to one of his wonderful associates, 86 him. That means kill him. It's, I think of it as a mob term. I don't know, people think of it as something having to do with disappearing, but the mob uses that term to say when they want to kill somebody, they say, 86, the son of a gun. I'm trying to keep the language nice and clear. They don't use that term, son of a gun. They use another term. But that's a mob term for kill him. Yeah.
But do you really think your life was in danger?
Probably. I don't know. You know, based on what I'm seeing out there, yeah.
So, listen, Comey's an FBI guy. He knows exactly what he was saying, and he knew exactly what it was. That's why he took a picture of it. He took a picture of it because he knew what it meant. Why would you take a picture of it? Oh, because you just thought it was just some clever little rocks. You know what it meant? You're not an idiot. And this guy likes to play stupid, just like he doesn't understand what he did for Hillary Clinton. Oh, well, she didn't intend to do it. Well, so she's guilty. Nope, she didn't intend to do it. Therefore, she's not guilty. That's not the way it works. So this needs to be seen through. Donald Trump, the assassination attempts are now up to 4, surprisingly enough, not 3. I don't know why people keep saying that. And you know, they're like, oh, well, Obama, there was assassination attempts. Someone tried to poison him. Yeah, but didn't get to him. Didn't even get on White House grounds. Oh, well, they shot at the White House. He wasn't even there. This isn't remotely the same. If you want to compare that, then Donald Trump's been, his life's been threatened like 12 times because since he was in office in 2016 till 2021, 2017 to 2021, till 2024 till now, 2025 till now, excuse me, they've stopped people. Capitol Police, they've shot multiple people on the White House lawn, multiple people trying to drive vehicles through. It happens all the time. So let's just keep it the same. Comes down to this. Comey, he's been indicted. Indictment means that a jury of his peers found that there was enough evidence to move forward with prosecution. End of story. That's it. Do it. That's the way it works. The View gets the bomb drop. Watch this.
Well, during Hot Topics earlier today, we discussed the most recent federal indictment of former FBI Director James Comey related to an Instagram post of seashells, an Instagram post that he deleted the very next day and apologized for. Do you think Comey's post rises to the level of a criminal threat against the life of the president and supports an indictment?
I do. I'll explain why. After Comey's post, and this is where I go back to Saturday's events, the responsibility of certain individuals like us. We all have a very big voice. He is a former FBI director. He knows what 8647 meant. There's no question about it. He actually went on TV later.
What do you think 86 means?
To kill the president, to get rid of the president. That's what it means. By the way, his words, not mine. If you look at his late night show.
But the dictionary disagrees with you on that.
Well, he's the FBI director.
They use it in restaurants. Do they mean to kill any?
You don't think it
what
might
do they?
Let me just tell you what happened after James Comey's post. A gentleman posted that about me. He posted on Twitter 86 Haba, and he was also charged. He was charged in Florida, and he was held accountable because you cannot do it. Now, this is an FBI director. We have responsibilities. You guys have responsibilities not to call the president certain things or say things that could incite violence. I most certainly think after Saturday, I have a completely new perspective on how important our voices are and how we use them.
Can I mention one thing, that Matt Gaetz also used that 86 many times and nothing happened to him?
Well, I think we look at everything. I'll be honest with you. Absolutely everything is in context.
Matt Gaetz is no longer in office, and if you want to go ahead and charge Matt Gaetz for that, do it. I think Matt Gaetz should be charged for a lot of shit. I fucking like the guy.
I don't think anybody is immune to it. I don't think we should be sitting here and nobody has condemned Jimmy Kimmel for his comments. Those were despicable.
Joy pointed out earlier, and the president also posted death to Democrats. Do you think the president should be held responsible for that?
When you, all due respect. Seen that post. I will tell you what I did.
It does exist.
Okay. What I can tell you is this. And who was the Attorney General and the DOJ at that point?
Probably Pam Bondi, no?
Yeah. No. Here's how I feel about this. Here's directly how I feel about this. Nobody should be inciting violence. Period. That's my perspective.
Including the president.
But you have to remember something. The Department of Justice brings real cases.
Earlier, and the president also posted death to Democrats. Do you think the president should be held responsible?
I want to see this post. I have been watching his social media for years. Maggie Wilson, thanks for watching on Instagram. Good to have you over here. Nice to see so many different people on Instagram. Good to have you. I want to see the post. Show me, because I've never seen it. I've never seen that on Truth. I've never seen it on X. And I'm gonna look and see what I can find while we watch this. Let's see how much time we've got. Yeah, we should be good.
For that?
When you, all due respect. I haven't seen that post. I will tell you what I did.
It does exist.
Okay. What I can tell you is this. And who was the Attorney General and the DOJ at that point?
Probably Pam Bondi, no?
Yeah.
No. Here's how I feel about this. Here's directly how I feel about this. Nobody should be inciting violence. Period. That's my perspective.
Including the president.
But you have to remember something. The Department of Justice brings real cases. We are not Jack Smith. We are not Letitia James. We bring real cases against people.
No, I know. I actually had the pleasure of serving as a former federal prosecutor at the Department of Justice. But let me ask you this.
Oh my God, you just got to get that in. I just did a full search on X and Truth Social. There is nothing where Donald Trump said death to Democrats. It's bullshit. It's a complete lie. It's a fallacy. This is what this bitch does. And I say bitch because she's a bitch. She has no moral code, no values. She's a bitch. Anybody that says that and lies on the president, show me the receipts, because I'm looking, I don't see it. And if I see it, I mean, I condemn it. Trump says shit all the time that I don't agree. And Matt, how can you call a woman a bitch? Listen, I'm sorry. The truth is, you may not like it, but there's words like this for a reason. And the same with the word "see you next Tuesday." And I don't say that word out of respect, and I have on the show before. I'm not going to do it. She's a "see you next Tuesday." I censored myself and said "bitch" instead. Okay? And there's many different iterations of what bitch means, and female dog is one of them. But basically, it means a classless woman. And she is a classless woman. She's not a female dog. In fact, she's quite attractive. She's just absolutely batshit crazy hatred for Donald Trump. I don't have any verification. If anyone does, send it to me, please.
I do believe that this is a vindictive prosecution against Comey, directed by the president. And so far, with little success, because he's done this many times. As Trump's personal attorney, you actually were sanctioned nearly $1 million for filing a frivolous civil lawsuit.
Okay, here we go. Now it's time for character assassinations. So someone said that Donald Trump said that people who were seditious and treasonous should face the death penalty. Yeah, because that's the payment for the crime of treason. Yes, they should. So he's not saying kill all Democrats. He's saying if you are seditious and treasonous, that you should be penalized with a death penalty. I agree, and so should everyone else.
against Comey, against Hillary Clinton and others, that a federal judge called political grievances masquerading as legal claims. So why should anyone believe this pattern of targeting Trump's enemies is about justice and not revenge?
If you think that the Russian collusion hoax, if you think that the things that we've now seen evidence of in this Department of Justice aren't real, I just tell you to sit tight because things are coming. Because what they did was weaponized. I don't want to hear about weaponization because the reason you all know who I am is because of weaponization. I sat through targeting, people saying we're going to get Trump, and then a Hillary Clinton appointed judge sanctioned me for suing Hillary Clinton. By the way, I'm proud of that. Well, I'm proud of what I did.
Actually,
because it was the right thing to do.
Let me get Alyssa in here. Let me get Alyssa.
I just have to correct something, though, Whoopi.
Oh, God, I hate this woman.
It was actually Bill Clinton, but that appointed that judge, but also a three-judge panel.
I'm like, get your fucking finger out of my face before I snap it off.
A three-judge panel consisting of a Bush appointee, a Trump appointee, and a Biden appointee actually agreed with that court's decision and in a 36-page opinion.
Which one was it again? Repeat it.
And basically,
I do want to move on because
do your thing.
I would love to go on The View. And I just wish that somebody would sit there on national TV and just say, can I ask a question? I've been watching you ladies for a long time. Is there anything positive you have to say about any topic in the world today? Do you have any hope, any joy, any light? You people are the most morose and obtuse, dark-minded, depressed human beings I've ever seen in my life. My God. Can you just say one nice thing about anybody who disagrees with you? I just don't understand, man. I don't understand how people like Harold Ford Jr., I don't understand how John Fetterman live in this world. I don't understand how people like Bill Maher live in this world. These people are based in their, I disagree with Maher on a lot of stuff, but at least he's a human being. At least he has some positive. I can't understand, and I can't wait for the chicks on the right. I can't wait for the chicks on the right. I really want them to come on the show because I have so many questions for them on how can two women be so very, very based and so diametrically opposed to who's on The View. How does it happen? I can't wait to talk to them. I'm so excited that we're getting chicks on the right to come onto the show. I would love to go on The View. I just ladies, for God's sakes, like the hardest choice you guys should be making in the morning is what flavored SSRI you're going to consume. That's literally where they are. They're all nuts. Just find a man or find a woman, whatever you want to find. Just find something. Find some happiness, for God's sakes. My Lord. So negative. Hexith goes off. Folks, donations, $146.40. We've got 22 minutes. Would love to get it going on. Here is Hexith just cooking. During his, they had to answer, Department of Defense had to answer for the Iran war. You guys know the 60-day mark's coming up. Donald Trump is going to continue to prosecute this war. They're not in war right now. And you could literally say since the ceasefire, you can retroactively add those days back on, 17 some odd days, because they're not at war right now. They're doing a blockade. Hexith, here is his responses.
President Trump, unlike other presidents, has had the courage to ensure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, and he's ironclad in that. We have the best negotiator in the world driving that deal. The biggest challenge, the biggest adversary we face at this point are the reckless, feckless, and defeatist words.
Cheryl Brandis just picked up a bag of coffee. Cheryl, enjoy your coffee. You're going to absolutely love it. It is exceptional. It is the Moab, one of our favorite, the mother of all brews. Cleverly played off of the mother of all bombs reference. You can go to thedumbshow.com, pick up some coffee. Trust me when I say it, it is the shiznit. Here's the rest.
Of congressional Democrats and some Republicans, 2 months in, I remind you, 2 months in to a conflict. Lest I remind you, and my generation understands how long we were in Iraq, how long we were in Afghanistan, how long we were in Vietnam. 2 months in on an existential fight for the safety of the American people, Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb. We are proud of this undertaking. I am proud that President Trump has had the courage to do it, and I look forward to sharing more about what our troops have accomplished. So I thank you again for the opportunity to address this committee.
I think he's a great Secretary of Defense. I would have been proud to serve underneath him. Here's the second part. Okay, hold on. No sound, people are saying. Wonder why this problem is starting again. Weird. This wasn't happening. It just, we got gremlins tonight, I guess.
President Trump, unlike other presidents, has had the courage to...
I'm replacing it. Hold on. Let me know.
But if I may.
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance. I didn't see a question in the statement from the congressman. I hope you appreciate how reckless it is. When I said reckless, feckless, and defeatist of congressional Democrats at the beginning, that came after watching you say the same thing on CNN this morning, a quagmire. My generation served in a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, years and years of nebulous missions and utopian nation building that led us to nothing. What we have right now, the way you...
Mel Lowe donated $103.48. Oh, Mel. Love you, sweetie. You're the best.
The troops, when you tell them 2 months in, Congressman, you should know better. Shame on you. Calling this a quagmire 2 months in. The effort, what they've undertaken, what they've succeeded, the success on the battlefield that could create strategic opportunities, the courage of a president to confront a nuclear Iran, and you call it a quagmire, handing propaganda to our enemies, shame on you for that statement. And statements like that are reckless to our troops. Don't say I support the troops on one hand, and then a 2-month mission is a quagmire. That's a false equivalation. Who are you cheering for here? Who are you pulling for? Our troops are doing incredible work. They've done incredible things for the entirety of this mission and achieved incredible battlefield successes. And you sit there and go on TV for your clickbait about quagmires. It undermines the mission.
Mr. Hollandaise 153.60 just picked up what you're throwing down, Pop Smoke, Diablo style. You're the best. You're the best, dude. I can't wait to go play. It's such a great game. God, they finally, they got it right. Diablo's back. Chase Billard subscribed. It really is. It's an incredible. If you left and didn't play, go play. It's that good. Olivia and I are just oohing and on. Here's the rest.
Hatred for President Trump blinds you to the truth of the success of this mission and the historic stakes that the president is addressing, which the American people support. Iran's been at war with us for 47 years. You want to talk about a forever war? For 2 months, this president has stared them down. He's going to get a better deal than anyone ever has and ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon. I know the American people support that mission, despite your loose talk and words like quagmire.
One second. I love Hexif. Here is, listen, I don't have anything to say. Support the freaking troops. It's not the troops' fault. They don't control it. They don't get to decide where they go and don't go. That's not up to them. It's up to the people who send them there. So support the damn troops. Okay? Period. End of story. Shut up. Shut up. Your political opinions aren't necessary. I love Mike Knowles. I think Mike Knowles is just cool as hell. Big fan of him. And he absolutely just came out and said the left is screwed. Couldn't agree more with what he had to say. And I love it when, like I told you, these are my favorite videos because I don't have to say it. Like, it's so nice when I can just show a video and I don't have to explain the video or go, you know what, hold on a second, I don't like what this is it. Another one of these videos where it's just damn good.
Hakeem Jeffries, furious in particular at the White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, who read out what the Democrats have said about political violence, and in such a way as to encourage their exclusion from political society. Hakeem Jeffries, furious. At what exactly?
Is that
a quagmire is like a situation that's murky, that's misguided, that's very difficult to get out of. It would be like a maze would be considered a quagmire. A swamp would be a quagmire. Being put in a situation of being bankrupt is a quagmire. So it's a difficult situation that's very hard to recuperate or move to any type of remediate, stable level that you previously were. I hope that maybe that helps. I hope that helps. There it is.
the so-called White House press secretary, who's a disgrace, she's a stone cold liar, had the nerve to stand up there and read talking points being critical of statements all taken out of context that Democrats have made, and didn't have a word to say about anything that MAGA extremists have said or done, including providing aid and comfort to violent insurrectionists here at this Capitol on January 6th.
Right, quicksand or gravitational pull of a black hole. Very typical quagmire. You're essentially fooked. I took care of the volume.
Who brutally beat police officers.
Wow, man, it shows you how totally bankrupt the Dem.
I've never heard Mike Knowles talk like that. Mr. Holiday's doing 1152. Mel left me no choice. LOL 415. Thank you.
That's the best and only example the Dems can use to counter their own words. What does he say? I can't believe the White House press secretary came up here, read talking points. What do you think the press secretary does? Do you think the White
Michael Knowles is pulling out his black slave voice. Did you hear that? Holy shit.
House press secretary can use to counter their own words? What does he say? I can't believe the White House press secretary came up here, read talking points. What do you think the press secretary does? Do you think the White House press secretary engages in extemporary oratory? I don't know. What do you think? Do you think she's giving a cooking class? She reads talking points. That's her job. And these talking points, she had the audacity to read our words back to us.
Hey there, boy. What you doing over here talking like that? I don't know what that Carolyn Levitt's doing up there talking that cracker smack. I tell you what, I'm gonna bitch slap her like a watermelon on July. Oh, she's ornery as a tick on a hound dog's ass. I tell you, she's got some comeuppance. Oh, you don't even look at me like that. I'll come over there and slap the shit out of you. Oh, shit. Jigaboo, Jamal, get over here. We don't go fuck up this whitey. Holy crap, Mike. I mean, why don't you just go full slave? Oh, God.
That seems more than fair, buddy. She's not even putting words in your mouth. She's reading what you've said many, many times, including recently. Yeah, and it's crazy because you know why it's crazy? Because, drum roll please, because
that bitch is crazy nuts. I tell you what, she's crazier than a swamp house rat, shithouse rat. A white shithouse rat. Oh, gee. Now I got to go. I'm going to go get some collard greens, some cornbread, and some chiclets.
January 6th. That's the best you got. The best you got is a contrived nonsense from 5 years ago. A political event at which the only person who was murdered was a Trump supporter murdered by a trigger-happy cop. That's the best you got. And then they said for years, the right-wingers on January 6th, which was infiltrated by the FBI, probably, we can't prove it yet, probably funded by the SPLC, January 6th, where they told us for years that cops were killed by the right-wingers. Didn't happen. None of that was true. Medical examiners contradicted all.
I'm telling you, there's plenty of us that are just sick and tired of this shit. Knowles is one of them. Bongino, Crowder. I'm going to throw myself in the mix just because I'm not even in the same orbit of those guys, but I'm just some far off Pluto. And I'm like, yep, I get it. Hey, guys, I agree. This, bull, shit. I'm with them. No, batting, Manny, Mota.
That. But even if it were true, which it isn't, that's the best you got, is a mob from 5 years ago, in some cases being escorted around the corn hat guy getting a private tour of the Capitol. How dare How dare the press secretary read our words back to us? You can tell the left is feeling the heat here. And the only reason they're feeling the heat, by the way, is because the right is finally speaking in terms of borders and standards and exclusions and consequences. Because the right is saying, Jimmy Kimmel needs to be fired. Hassan Piker is a toxic personality who needs to be prosecuted and maybe deported back to the backwater that he was raised in.
There you go.
Saying that the Democrat politicians who have associated with people like Hassan Piker need to be removed from office. That's why he's feeling the heat. Yep. He's not feeling the heat because we're going to engage in the free marketplace of ideas.
He's feeling the heat because the gumbo's cooking in the kitchen. And it's some spicy New Orleans gumbo. You sop it up with some bread and milk because that shit's on fire. Tell you what, it's devil fire. Down from Satan, coming to the crossroads to sell your soul. It's that type of gumbo. That shit's noxious.
The point that I've made for the last 8 months, I was making it before that, but you see it especially in the last 8 months since Charlie was assassinated by a leftist, is we tried to have a free marketplace of ideas. We tried. No one did that more graciously and more charitably than Charlie, and the left shot him for it.
That's right.
So you can't have a free marketplace when the bandits keep shooting up the marketplace.
That's
Hakeem
it.
Jeffries, furious.
Michael Knowles was some of the best black slave impersonation I've ever heard. I'm just telling you, we're sick of it. We're sick of it. If you're going to go up there and you're going to play kabuki theater with those theatrics and you're going to pretend that you're a black from the deep south, you're going to get it. And don't tell me if some uppity freaking Eminem type walks into the Bronx and starts saying, "Shit, Negro, what's going on, man? Give me some love, Jack." That kid's not going to literally be hanging from a basketball hoop. Give me a break. Nobody likes that shit. Nobody likes to be insulted or relegated down to the stereotypes of some stupid jackass. So give me a break. God, Hakeem Jeffries is Hodgkins. He's whiter than me. Maher hates socialists. I told you guys. Bill Maher's a socialist. No, he's not. He doesn't believe in God. No, he doesn't know if God's real. He doesn't know. I didn't know that 5 years ago. I still question. But leave Bill Maher alone. This is why I love Bill Maher. Because just listen to how he just completely takes apart Democrat socialists, which is completely antithetical. It's like saying I'm a black loving man who is in the Ku Klux Klan. I'm pro-life. Now let me go get my abortion. This is ridiculous. Listen to what Maher does.
I mean, I'm politically more Democrat socialist. I believe
you're socialist. Again, I think you're
socialist.
Plainly, then you're to the left of me if you even say you're a socialist.
Well, I said democratic socialist.
I know, but I know what a democratic socialist is. That's Mandami, who's a straight up.
Kay, what's going on? Is Facebook not working like it wasn't for Olivia? I'll try to spend some time this weekend and try to figure out what's going on, see if we can fix it, kiddo. It's not us, it's Facebook, but I'll see if there's a workaround.
Communist.
No, he's not.
Okay,
no, he's not.
Okay, he has someone working.
Bill.
Can I?
Yeah.
All right. He is, first of all.
Okay.
He has someone working for him named Sia Weaver.
Okay.
Have you read about her?
I have not.
See, that means you're in a bubble.
Of course not. You're just an idiot.
Because you should have.
Okay.
Okay,
so
let me tell you who she is. She's
edify
like,
me.
She's like one of his top lieutenants. His big issue was the rent's too high.
Mm-hmm.
She's the head of, we're going to fix housing.
Mm-hmm.
This is like what got him elected. He has not disavowed her, and I could show you all her tweets that she's put out over the last few years in quotes. And one of them is, elect more communists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to read between the lines if somebody he stands with and by is saying, and also her other quotes are like, all home ownership is racist.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why don't you get to her river to the sea quotes?
Yes, I have an issue with that thing that she said. I don't know this woman. I will definitely look her up. I'm a fan of Mamdani's. I'm a fan of, and I'm I lived in New York for 25 years.
Still smoke pot? Yeah.
No, I mean, I wish. It just doesn't, I'm not good with it, and it took me fucking forever to learn my lesson, you know? I wish I could, because I enjoy
Did you
it.
used to? I feel like I've smoked pot with you.
No, I did. I just don't, my brain doesn't work well on it. You know what I mean?
Sure. You just said you like Mandami. Well, let's not argue about.
For me, it's not an argument. It's a conversation.
All right.
I don't feel like it's an argument.
Okay.
And I think he also going from the last the administrations that ran New York from when I moved there. I mean, they weren't. You know, Bloomberg was okay in a relative sense, but
bro, just say you don't know why you like him on Donnie, that you think he's got a cool beard, because this is fucking painful. This is painful. It's like, dude, just list the reasons why. It's gonna be one policy you love of his. I mean, seriously, dude. He wants to tax people into prosperity. Okay, that's enough for me. That's it. He's a socialist. That's it. He's a socialist. You want to punish rich people. You don't even want to do a income tax. You want to do a wealth tax. So your value, you want to tax people on shit they've already paid taxes on. You're a communist. You want to do redistribution. That's it. Socialist. End of story.
But I mean, de Blasio and Adams are just not good. De Blasio was kind of feckless, and Adams was absolutely corrupt, blatantly. And I think
this is bullshit. Like Bill, why even bring him on the show? There was not one single fact or reason. This is the problem with Democrats. Just ask them, why do you like Kamala Harris? Well, because she's not Trump. That's it. There it is. That's it. That's it. It's the only reason. You don't know why. You don't like Kamala Harris. Even Kamala Harris's husband doesn't like Kamala Harris. Nobody likes Kamala Harris. Nobody. But you vote for her because she's not Trump. That's it. You cooed your current sitting president in Biden because you didn't like Trump and you didn't think you could beat him. That's it. And you knew he was old and decrepit and you lied about it. But just tell me why. Why do you vote for Democratic policy? They don't know. There's nobody. Well, I believe they're for the Constitution. Well, that's not true. They're not for the Constitution. They want to strip out First Amendment rights. They arrested people who spoke out. They said parents were domestic terrorists. J6 suspended habeas corpus and called them domestic terrorists. And J6, it's not the right to habeas corpus. Fourth and Fifth Amendment were suspended for those people. They went ahead and censored social media. They didn't release the Hunter Biden story, the laptop story. They said it was fictitious. They went ahead and punished people for COVID and censored them. They locked them down. They stuck them in their houses. They wouldn't let them work. They wouldn't let them go to their schools. They wouldn't let them go to church. They wouldn't let them go have a fucking drink in a bar. What do you mean they believe in the Constitution? Bill of Rights is composed of 10 freedoms. 9 of them have been relegated into obscurity, all by Democrats. Every one of them. Except for the Third Amendment, which is quartering of the troops, which was done in English wartime for housing troops in a civilian's home in a residential area. That you couldn't quarter and take quarter in a privately owned domicile. Well, they haven't touched that until like some fucking country moves into the United States and starts attacking us. That shit will be modified quicker than lickety split. What are you talking about? What do you like about Democrats? You give us free health care. How? Tell me how. Explain it. Explain it to me. What's the overall cost of free health care for every person in the United States of America? Give me an idea. $11 trillion. How? How are you going to pay for that? Well, the Green New Deal. Now, $91 trillion over 10 years. No. Yes. You want to get to zero net carbon emissions. Do you understand how many fucking cars how many ICE cars are on, and I'm not talking ICE as in immigration enforcement dipshits, internal combustion engines. Do you want to know how many cars per person per capita there are on the road? 1.5. Because a family of four of driving age own 3 cars on average. Give me a break. We're going to stop cow flatulence. Oh, okay. So you're going to subsidize the cattle market? Is that what you're going to do? What are you going to replace beef with? Hamburgers with? What are you going to replace pretty much 60% of what people eat on the planet? How are you going to go ahead and subsidize that? With bugs. With what? You people are freaking retarded. Why do you vote for liberals? Why? You ask me why vote for conservatives. It's pretty simple. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do with Biden. They are the only party that still continues to protect the Constitution fervently. Look what the Supreme Court's doing. Supreme Court is siding with this, with the Constitution in every single case, even when Trump doesn't like it. They're recognizing the power of federal judges, that they have a right to challenge these things, the constitutionality, and it goes through the appellate process. And Donald Trump does it, and he follows the law. I don't agree with everything, but that's the way it is. They're the only party that focuses on the Constitution, at least not changing it. But the Democrats want to use executive orders to alter the Constitution of the United States, and they have done that over and over and over and over and over. And if you can't see it, I just pointed out like 20 fucking examples of how they've done it. Give me an example of how Republicans have taken away any rights of anyone. They took away abortion. Wasn't a fucking right. Roe v. Wade was a decision. Was a horrible decision, which has been repealed, thank God. And it's now back to the states. It's actually following the Constitution better than the Constitution itself, because the original provision was attached to the 14th Amendment about right to privacy. And I'm sorry, murdering a baby is not private. It actually should be put in the public eye, and it should be labeled and tar and feathered like red letter A's on people who do it. But it's not. It's not a private thing. If you go murder someone in your basement, I'm sorry, I did it privately, so therefore I'm protected. Are you fucking stupid? No. It was a completely unconstitutional writ. So what did they do? Well, Donald Trump recognized it. Supreme Court said, no, this is unconstitutional. And they used the Constitution, the 10th Amendment, to give the power back to the states. If they were some oppressive government, they just simply would have melted it out of existence and said, nope, no more abortions, law of the land. Well, they didn't do that because they don't have anything to codify it. There was no amendment to change because it would have taken a 3/4 majority to change the amendment. That didn't happen. They found it to be unconstitutional because nobody had the balls to put it in front of the Supreme Court except for Donald Trump, and he didn't fucking care. And he said, let the chips fall where they may. And listen to me here, folks. Donald Trump is way too cool for someone who's about to lose the midterms. I'm telling you right now, he's got a plan. He's too calm and collected. No rallies. You guys, April, May, it's May. May, June, July, August, September, October, election, 6 months. Where the fuck is he? Why isn't he in these purple states? Why isn't he in these vulnerable seats? Because I don't think Donald Trump believes that the Democrats can win, because these seats are going to get redistricted. I believe that. I think he's like, we're good. We've done the numbers. It's an off election midterm. It's going to be, we're going to lose seats, but we will still hold the majority. I believe that. Because where is he? I didn't realize, and I haven't seen it, but if you go back to 2020, man, he started campaigning in January. He was doing a full day's run, putting a lid on his presses at 4:30, and then he hit 3 rallies. This guy was ridiculous. Remember the weekends? He was always somewhere. He was in Georgia. He was in Michigan. He was in Wisconsin. He was everywhere. Why? 2022, he was traveling all over the place during midterms. Where is he? Because I think that they feel that the Supreme Court is going to force these states before the election to redistrict and remove almost 20 seats. And that pretty much guarantees the Republicans are going to be okay. He's got something up his sleeve, man. I'm not saying he's playing 4D chess. I hate when people say that. But it's too weird. Where is he? Florida is redistricting now. Virginia, why did they let it happen? I think, honestly, I was here. I saw the effort. There wasn't an effort. The money that they could have put in here, they didn't. They didn't start really dumping money into it until about 30 days before the election. And I was like, what in the fuck are they doing? Where's the money? Why aren't they fighting this redistricting? Because I believe they want it to go through. Show how crazy these Democrats are, then have the Supreme Court or the state's court say, no, you can't do it. It's unconstitutional. Because now look at them. Look at them. Texas, they overturned the federal challenge, said Texas isn't based on racial gerrymandering, turned over just today. We saw what happened and turned over the districting. Said Florida right now, they're going to challenge that, but that's getting passed with flying colors, and it doesn't look like a racial redistricting. It looks just like Texas, that it's based upon political ideology, which is not unconstitutional. And now the South, this opens up, 13 states that have 12 states that have the ability to redistrict now and remove these heavy blue districts that were completely gerrymandered to shit based upon racial gerrymandering. This changes the entire landscape of the election. How fast can they redistribute? I don't know. How fast did Texas do it? Took Texas, 46 days? They've got 6 months. There's no reason they can't do it. Now, some of the gubernatorial races, Patrick Riley subscribed. Thank you, Patrick. Some of the gubernatorial races are going to go by the wayside, but who gives a shit? You're not going to win those governor races anyway. I mean, redistricting isn't going to stop the vote. But when you have a district which is relegated to a certain amount of people, certain amount of color, certain amount of political disposition right here, here, and here, yeah, that makes a difference. But gubernatorial, it's still a statewide election, so it doesn't matter. So you're not going to win those, but you have a really good chance of hitting the congressional seats. Yeah, there's a good chance. Something to think about, folks. Just something to think about. Listen, I want to thank everybody for a great night of donations. 415, really nice to see. I love these solo shows. I love it because I don't have to. I can just go. I can just go. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are like, oh my God, I wish he talks too fast. Too many topics. Too much this. Too much that. Other people love it. I enjoy it. This is how we started out together, one-on-one. So occasionally when we have these shows, it's good for me. I love it. I really do, and I appreciate you guys being here. I want to thank everybody. I want to continue to pray for Frank. He's a good friend of the show. You guys know him and love him. Please reach out to him. Did I miss anything else why people vote Democrat? The only reason they vote Democrats is because they hate Trump. That's it. What about the primaries? What about it? Do I believe that we can get these redistricts done in the next 3 months? Yeah, I do. Yes. Yep. But here's the thing. If you do like Florida does and it passes the House of Delegates and it passes the state's constitution and it's not challenged, then they can hold the election. Not November. But what they can do is that they can go ahead and make these districts inert and say, you can't use these. You have to revert back to the old maps. It's unconstitutional. Trust me, Republican lawyers are working their ass off on this. They're working their asses off on this. And honestly, listen, I don't like gerrymandering. I think it's shit. Republicans do it. Democrats do it. But if you look at the last 10 years, it's Democrats. And they have been abusing this shit constantly. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting upset over this. Yeah, no, I understand. Primary, it's tough. But what you guys need to understand is it's 6 months away. If they're doing early elections now, I remember when it was like this and 16 people watching. Yeah, I do too. Early voting and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about that. But you guys understand, you just saw this in Virginia. Only 13% of the vote was early. So early voting is big, but it doesn't encompass the entire election. Where you really get hit is absentees. And yeah, early voting is actually 33% here in Virginia. That's quite a bit. But you still have same-day voting being predominantly where it's at. And remember, not everyone's going to vote 6 months out. And even if you lose Georgia, in some cases, you're going to get it in other states. But you got Florida. Florida just gained 6 seats. Virginia is not going to move forward now. So now you got California where they gained, 2 seats? You had Texas where they gained a shit ton of seats. So that's 12, 13 seats. And if you get this in the southern states, another 20 seats. That's 33 seats? There's no way they're going to turn 33 seats. It's not going to happen. Because they have to turn 33 and still gain their seats. You understand? That's not going to happen. Yeah, SAVE Act. Senate Majority Leader's not going to put it through. Go talk to Cornyn and Thune. All right, everybody. I'm going to get out of here. Those were the good old days, and I thought Matt was a jerk. Easy. Holy shit. I still am a jerk. I am a jerk sometimes. I will say I've been much better since January. I am a different person since January. I have been very focused. I try to be pretty kind to everybody. I think I've done much better. If I was to give myself a grade, I would say that I'm a solid A-. I've been very, very nice. Well, maybe not nice, but I have found a new rhythm. Well, the Supreme Court hasn't made a decision yet. Understand this. This was the challenge that they made. They made a challenge, and they were going to overturn the federal court, and they didn't. They said, no, you can't. And then you can't appeal that decision. So now it's just strictly in the Supreme Court, Virginia Supreme Court's hands. And I'm pretty confident the Virginia Supreme Court's going to make the right decision. All right, folks, tomorrow, Olivia and I, and then Friday, Olivia and I. It's Jacket Friday. Don't forget that. We will see you guys next week. Or excuse me, tomorrow. And then Friday, we have Damani Felder, and it's Jacket Friday as well. So we'll see you then. Next week, we'll see you too on Monday, but that's not important right now. We're too far from the weekend. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Thanks for taking care of us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.